Hey guys, this is Alicia Podfic, and today we're going to be reading Glowsticks and Bullet Holes by Hyperius. This is Chapter 7. Jason Todd wasn't an idle man. He's not someone who's able to just sit around, trapped in his thoughts. His mind is a war zone of trauma and poor coping, of self-loathing, and a pathetic attempt to heal. He supposes he should be happy, though, that his mind has turned into a war zone, because when it wasn't, his anger and pain overwhelmed him, controlled him in a violent violation of his conscience. He hurt. He wanted to hurt anyone he ever thought betrayed him. He wanted to kill. He was overwhelmed with bloodlust and seething, boiling rage. And then he realized he was wrong, that he fucked up. And all that emerald, raging bloodlust turned into an overwhelming sense of self-loathing and dangerous thoughts. Dangerous thoughts that he's definitely infinitely grateful to have moved past from, for the most part. He's healed, at least that much. He can now fight with himself when he's violent. Negative thought takes over. He can kick himself when a thought is tinted too green. And he has learned to pull himself back from a downward spiral, for the most part. He has been healing. It's exhausting and painful, and it leaves him ragged for breath, and eyes red and sore from unshed and shed tears. It leaves his head hurting, pounding, and it's so fucking exhausting. So he stopped working on bettering his mind. He believes he's at a good enough spot. Probably. Yeah, he's in a good enough spot, as it is. He thinks he can just ignore it all now, and healing anymore hurts. Facing all the negative, facing what he's done, what others have done, having to look at himself and remember all the blood that's dripped from his hands, he can't do it. He can't do it alone, so he's in a good enough spot. But it still hurts when he's trapped in vile emerald thoughts. When green fog suffocates his mind and clouds his judgment. When his thoughts become too strong and too cruel. When he feels like grabbing for the gun and shooting anyone, everyone. He goes on patrol. He fights until he can't think. He runs until he can't breathe. He wears himself out until his mind can't keep up. And he's too physically exhausted to do anything but pass out. And then it passes. And he's fine. He let out a sigh, pacing in the room he was in. He wanted to punch something, the anxiety of the case, of being forced to sit out, of trusting Hal, of all people, to do recon. He wants to be there, needs to make sure this shit is stopped before anyone gets hurt. Before the innocent get hurt, before the kids get hurt. He's let so many people suffer already. Been the cause of their suffering. He can't. He took a deep breath, closing his eyes and forcing himself to sit down. He just needs a distraction before he's forced down a dark abyss it'd take days to crawl out of. He looked around, spotting a little book on one of the shelves within Hal's living room. Jason had no clue Hal could read. He walked over, picking up the old book with gentle hands. He ran a finger over the worn spine, smiling at the clear love and use the book has received before opening the cover to see a little note written on the inside from someone. A name Jason doesn't recognize. Makes sense that the book is from someone else. It must have some form of significance for Hal to have kept it. A part of Jason says he shouldn't read it, that perhaps this is Hal's pride and prejudice, but the other part, the part of his brain screaming at him to act, the part calling him lazy, useless, horrid, telling him he's given up, he's letting all the bad happen because he isn't working, that it's his fault people will die, wins. He needs a distraction, and this is the best he's got. He settled on the couch and opened the book. It was dark by the time he finally took a break, setting the book aside and rubbing his temples with a gentle pressure. There was a tugging in his gut, instincts yelling at him to go, to help, to find Hal because something is wrong. He just doesn't know what, and he doesn't want to call the man. He wants to trust him. He needs to trust him. He needs to prove to Hal that they are a team, that they can work together, and his mind has settled just a bit, reminding him of Hal trusting him, and only benching him because he was hurt, and Hal cared, reminding him of Hal showing more gentle affection and non-judgmental behavior in 2 nights than Hal has done in 2 years, and damn it, he needs to return the favor. For the bullshit he gives Hal, for all the bullshit the Green Lanterns take from Bruce and the Bats, for everything they do, he knows Hal is capable. More than capable. The man probably saved the world independently. More times than the Justice League have. He's saved the world too. Other cultures, and maybe even dimensions. Who fucking knows, really? All Jason knows is for all the shit Hal gets, for all the doubting and all the taunts over his skill and intelligence, the world would probably have been destroyed without him. He's already proven that Bruce has been wrong about him. He's shown a compassion few others have. A willpower stronger than anyone's, a kindness that may even rival Dick's. Even though Dick is much more open about his. And a strength that has already saved Jason's ass. To be fair, Jason would have needed his ass saved without Hal, but still, the point stands. He needs to trust Hal, so he bites his lip and waits. Hal arrived home 2 hours later. Jason, no longer able to sit and wait, no longer able to focus on his reading without the nagging in his gut, moved on to stress cooking. A curry was nearly ready, fresh bread and fresh pastry wafting a heavenly scent over the oven. No theme to the meal, just food he enjoyed cooking. Hopefully Hal wouldn't mind the mix of food, but considering the ramen he usually eats, he probably will be overjoyed to even get a half-decent meal. And if not, he has no room to judge. Jason looked over his shoulder and relaxed when the Green Lantern entered the room, uniform disappearing to reveal his sweats and no injury in sight. Good. Though, Jason did notice a look of faux happiness across the older man's face. It's a look that one usually fits over their expression when they try to hide nerves and worry. Shit, maybe something did go down. Jason frowned. All right there? Hal opened his mouth. Hal looked up, opening his mouth, then closing. Opening his mouth, then closing. He took a deep breath. You cooked! He jumped over, sniffing over the pot of curry. Oh, wow. That smells amazing. Is it ready to eat? Must be bad. Shit. You know you'll have to tell me. Jason crossed his arms over his chest. He doesn't like not knowing. Doesn't handle not knowing well. He needs to know. Needs to know he can fix it, whatever it is. Yeah. Hal nodded, sighed. Food first. Jason hated that. He wants to punch the man. Instead, he takes a bowl and scoops out the curry, rudely plopping it within the dish so some of the sauce spills over the side and onto the floor. Fine. Jason refused to eat, instead piercing Hal with a withering glare as he ate his meal. Jason is hungry, but if he ate, he'd vomit. He needs to settle the anxiety curling through his gut. He needs Hal to tell him why he's so nervous. Eventually, he saw Hal's shoulders slump, tension dropping out of him as resignation overtook him. You won't relax till I tell you. Nope. Okay. Hal leaned back in the chair. So we got guests? Guests? Yeah. Hal looked away from Jason, taking a deep breath before turning back to him. Batman and Superman are here. Hal watched Jason freeze, an odd form of fear overtaking him, and Hal lunged forward, grabbing Jason's hands to ground him. The boy shouldn't look so... He shouldn't be so... How could the news of his supposed father horrify him so? What the fuck did Bruce do? I'm going to beat that man the next time I see him. Hey, calm down. Neither know you're here, okay? You're good. You won't have to deal with them until you're ready, and if you won't ever be ready, then fuck Spooky. He can rot in hell. As he spoke, he watched Jason slowly relax, slowly begin to control his features and emotions again. He understands why the boy wears the helmet now, at least. He's so open about how he feels. He doesn't have that impenetrable mask the other bats have. Hal prefers it that way. With a deep, steadying breath, Jason nods. He can handle facing Batman no problem, when he's ready. When he's ready, not fucking before. Sure, they've been getting better, but he can't imagine how pissed Bruce is that he just straight disappeared. And he's not ready for that argument, that fight. He's not ready for the cruel words and the fuck. Promise? I promise. I got your back, kid. I'm not a kid. Sure thing. Now eat your damn curry. It's fucking delicious. Clark walked through the hotel room, sitting on the bed opposite Bruce's. They decided to go a little more low-key, only booking a 4-star hotel room. That was still so much better than what Clark would have ever been able to independently book. 2 beds, too. What's on your mind, Bruce? We should have followed him. Clark sighed. I know you want to do that, but he's still a League member. We have to have some faith. We'll talk to him tomorrow, when he's out as Green Lantern. The Bat glared at his friend. Yeah, of course. Clark knew what that meant. It meant Bruce had a plan that would betray the trust of both him and Hal. He sighed, but wasn't that so predictable? What else could he expect from the Batman? Whatever you're planning, I'm not involved. And don't expect me to help your ass when Hal inevitably gets tired of your bullshit. With a small smirk, Bruce let out a little huff. Am I becoming predictable? No. Yes. Just because I know you. Bruce winked and Clark rolled his eyes, but he was smiling. The shit he'd put up with. But maybe it doesn't have to follow the same patterns. Maybe Clark can run interference. Maybe Batman doesn't have to betray them. Maybe Batman and Green Lantern don't need to fight. Whatever it is, maybe Clark can help. He is Superman after all. Alright guys, that is the end of chapter 7 of Glowsticks and Bolt Holes by Hyperius. I hope you guys liked it and I'll see you next chapter.